Why you think people love Caitlin Clark besides her skills?
She can shoot threes from logo.
We never seen that before. That's my point.
All right, everyone, get ready, because Shaq has once again dropped a serious truth bomb about Caitlin Clark. And this time, it all went down on Angel Reese's very own podcast. Yes, Shaquille O'Neal, the man, the myth, the legend, showed up on Angel Reese's show and made it crystal clear who he believes is the real star of the game. Shaq didn't hold back at all when it came to praising Caitlin Clark, and Angel's reaction said it all. Let's just say it wasn't exactly positive. Angel is probably wishing she never sent that invitation in the first place. So let's start from the beginning. Angel Reese sits down expecting a relaxed conversation with Shaq, maybe hoping for a few compliments about her own game. But Shaq had a completely different agenda. Right from the start, he began praising Caitlin Clark. Her shooting range, her court vision, her confidence, everything. You could almost see Angel struggling to hide the discomfort on her face. Then Shaq dropped the big question. He asked, "Why do you think fans love Caitlin Clark so much beyond just her talent?" This was Angel's chance to respond calmly and keep it professional. Maybe even admit that Caitlin is simply that good. But instead, she brushed it off and replied with one thing.
Steph Curry, a little kid. Like Steph Curry, I love. You know why I love Steph Curry? Because I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. I've seen it a little bit, but I've never seen a guy consistently come down.
That's exactly the point. I mean, seriously, people act like the only reason fans admire Caitlin Clark is because she can pull up from the logo. But Shaq wasn't having any of that. He basically said, "Wait a minute, that's not the full story." Shaq stepped in and made it clear to Angel that Caitlin Clark is way more than just a long-range shooter. She brings everything to the table. Caitlin Clark is an elite passer. She keeps fans locked in every second, and she runs the floor like a master strategist playing chess. Even SportsPro, a major sports media platform, ranked Caitlin Clark above Ronaldo and Messi on its list of most marketable athletes. And there's Angel looking like reality just hit hard. Remember when Angel Reese recently said her salary doesn't even cover her rent? Well, at this point, it feels like Caitlin Clark is basically helping pay Angel Reese's rent just by being mentioned nonstop on her podcast. Honestly, she might as well start charging a fee or cutting her a check. Jokes aside though, Shaq is Shaq, and he wasn't finished yet. He dropped a massive comparison. Steph Curry.
Like a perfect, normally office guy.
Yeah.
But he's doing stuff that people never seen before. She's doing stuff we've never seen before.
Shaq explained his view, saying, "That's exactly what I mean. Steph looks like an average guy. He doesn't have LeBron's physique and he's not standing 6 feet 9 inches. He could easily blend in as a regular office worker. But once he steps on the court, he does things no one has ever witnessed before." Shaq is comparing Caitlin to that same type of player. She is completely changing how people view what is possible in the game. And in that moment, Shaq is clearly telling Angel that Caitlin is not only legendary, but also nearly untouchable on the court. Meanwhile, Angel is sitting there, likely thinking to herself, "Here's Shaq, an NBA icon and someone I look up to, publicly praising my biggest rival right in front of me on my own podcast. You can imagine how painful that must feel." But Shaq wasn't finished yet. He continued, saying, "I used to question Caitlin, but she kept proving me wrong over and over again." He even admitted that he was a hater at first, but Clark completely changed his perspective. You could see Angel struggling to stay composed, but Shaq...
You could tell that Angel was struggling to keep her cool, but Shaq's making it clear, Caitlin Clark is the real deal.
You know, in the Final Four, I'm like, damn, like, and I was a hater because, you know, I'm down with you. Like, she's not going to hit that shot, and bam, like, damn, she's not going to hit that shot, bam. Like, if I say 10 times you're not going to hit the shot and you hit the shot, the real deal. That means you're the truth.
Shaq stunned Angel with a powerful statement. He said, "Let's be real here. Caitlin Clark is doing things we've never witnessed before. Her shooting range, her vision on the court, the way she completely controls the game, it's next level. She's raising the bar. Fans don't just admire her because of the deep logo shots. They're hooked because she's changing the entire landscape of women's basketball." Shaq made it clear right in front of Angel. He was basically admitting that Caitlin Clark is a force that can't be stopped. She has that rare X factor that makes players legendary. Angel had no response. That's right, Shaq left her speechless. You could see Angel trying to understand why Shaq was praising Caitlyn so openly while sitting across from her. And once the podcast wrapped, fans completely lost their minds. Shaq even confessed that he wasn't a fan of Caitlyn Clark in the beginning, but her talent eventually won him over. His honesty hit harder than any slam dunk. He simply voiced what so many people have been thinking. And the truth is, Shaq's comments line up with what other analysts like Rachel Demita, Stephen A. Smith, and
Check out our recent video where we discussed how Angel Reese is focusing more on her clothing and her wardrobe instead of her actual sport.
His comments are doing more than just offering praise. They are validating what many former players and analysts have been saying all along. Caitlyn Clark is the driving force behind new fans, record-breaking numbers, and a complete shift in the landscape of women's basketball. These veterans are simply pointing out what she brings to the court, and it's something that can no longer be ignored. Caitlyn Clark is actively rewriting history. Shaq even described her as a blend of Steph Curry and a true point guard with elite court vision. And this wasn't just a casual compliment. This was Shaquille O'Neal declaring that she is a once-in-a-generation talent. Meanwhile, Angel Reese couldn't help but sit there wondering, did Shaq really just take over my podcast to crown Caitlyn the GOAT? The answer is yes, and he did it without hesitation. Shaq went all in, while Angel tried to maintain composure, but the tension was obvious. Imagine inviting a basketball legend onto your show only for him to tell the world that your biggest rival is better than you. That moment had to sting deeply, and here's where the story takes another turn. Caitlyn Clark has no intention of slowing down. She's known for her relentless work ethic, and even during the off-season, she's already locked into intense training sessions. Despite already being a superior athlete compared to many of her peers, she shows no signs of complacency or arrogance. On the flip side, when we look at Angel Reese, the contrast becomes hard to ignore. Let's be real, statistically, she was one of the least efficient shooters inside 5 feet and struggled badly with finishing around the rim. Fans watched missed layups pile up throughout the season. Yet instead of focusing on improving those weaknesses, Angel appears to be prioritizing fashion, brand deals, and podcast appearances. We've already covered how her attention seems more focused on outfits and image than on refining her game. That difference in priorities says a lot about mindset. One player is already ahead and still willing to grind relentlessly, while the other doesn't seem ready to make the same sacrifices. This also isn't the first time Shaq has spoken openly about Caitlyn Clark. He previously admitted that he used to be a skeptic. He even confessed that his loyalty to Angel Reese prevented him from fully recognizing Caitlyn's true impact and greatness. Earlier this year, Shaq went as far as calling Caitlyn Clark the greatest collegiate player in the history of women's basketball. Coming from Shaq, that level of praise is enormous, especially for a rookie WNBA player who is still early in her professional career. These aren't casual remarks. They show that Shaq genuinely believes in what he's saying. In his eyes, Caitlyn Clark is simply on another level. Not just ahead of Angel Reese, but ahead of everyone else. And the truth is, Caitlyn Clark is more than just a deep-range shooter. Beyond her scoring, her basketball IQ, court awareness, and ability to anticipate plays set her apart. She's raising the standard. She's selling out arenas, drawing massive crowds, and pushing the entire league forward. Shaq isn't alone in noticing this shift. Analysts, players, and fans everywhere agree. Caitlyn Clark is ushering in a new era of women's basketball. Whether Angel Reese likes it or not, Shaq made his stance crystal clear. He said what he said and walked away unapologetically. Angel tried to brush it off, but the message landed. Shaq didn't come to be polite, he came to speak the truth. And in his mind, Caitlyn Clark deserves every bit of the hype she's receiving, and possibly even more. So what's the takeaway here? Shaq went on Angel Reese's own podcast and openly declared that Caitlyn Clark is the real face of women's basketball. By comparing her to Steph Curry and calling her the future, he made it clear where he stands. Angel may not agree, but Shaq is simply calling it as he sees it. Caitlyn Clark isn't here just to compete. She's here to take over. And Shaq made sure to announce that dominance loud and clear, right to Angel's face. Now the question is yours, was Shaq exaggerating? Or is Caitlin Clark truly the next superstar of the sport? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more bold takes and highlights from women's basketball.